Hi Year 6, this is your Thursday the 25th of February maths lesson, and what we're going to do today is we're going to solve problems involving ratio and proportion. So what we've done is we've put these sheets into your pack, so by now you've hopefully picked up your pack. I mean, if you haven't, don't worry, because the sheet is here, but it'll be much easier to use the one out of your pack. Now when you look at the sheets you'll see a star at the bottom. Just need to, this is Stubbs' thumb, and 1 star is for the children that aren't feeling very confident, so that's a practice. 2 star if you're feeling more confident, and 3 star is the challenge. And 3 star actually is a real challenge. It's the same questions but just with different values. We've actually put the answers into your pack as well, so try not to look, have a go at the sheet first, but then when you've tried it you can then check your answers, which is always handy. Okay, so Mrs. Stubbs is going to just model doing a couple of the questions. I'm just going to move over here actually, I think it'd be easier, just to show you how you might like to work out the sheets. Okay, so it's real life examples, things like recipes and classes of children and things like that. Okay.
Okay, so if we have a little look, I thought we'd have a look at just the first question. It says that beef has to be cooked for 30 minutes for every kilogram, for every 1 kilogram. Okay, so I'm going to jot that piece of information down. So it's going to be 30 minutes for every 1 kilogram. Okay, and what you have to do is to use this information, and it's really a question of direct proportion, to calculate how long you would have to cook that beef for if it weighed 2 kilograms. Now I know that 1 kilogram is 30 minutes, so if I want it to be, if my piece of meat is 2 kilograms, well, let's have a little look. What's happened here? It's been doubled, hasn't it? It's been times by 2. So to keep it in the same proportion, because I want the piece of meat done exactly the same way, I don't want to overdo it, don't want to undercook it. So I've got to do the same to this. So I've got to double this 30 minutes. So double 30, 2 times 30 is 60 minutes. Okay, and of course you could also write that as 1 hour. Okay, they're the same value. Just look at another of the questions. So I won't do the next one down. You could have a go at that yourself. But this one's 6 kilograms. Okay, so same information. 30 minutes for 1 kilogram. Okay, I'm going to write my 6 kilograms here. So if I go back to this, right, that's 6, it's been times by 6. So to keep it in the same, being cooked in the same way, the same proportion, I'll put my arrow this way, I need to do the same here. 30 times 6, 30 minutes times 6. I'll just add that in here so you can see what I've done. That was 6 times bigger, so I've got to do the same to this, times it by 6. Okay, now there's a number of ways you can do it. I'm going for the quickest way. I'm just going to do my working out down here. 30 times 6, I'm going to use a fact that I know. I know that 3 times 6 is 18, but I didn't want 3 times 6, I wanted 30 times 6. So I'm going to use a mega fact. So I've got to make it this number 10 times bigger. Here we are, 180. If you're not sure of that way, you can set it out in a calculation like that, of course. Okay, 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 3 is 18. So 180 minutes would be my answer there. 180 minutes. Okay. This sort of reminds me a little bit. Remember when we were doing equivalent fractions and we were saying to keep them the same, whatever you do to one, you do to the other, to the numerator and the denominator. It just reminds me of that. We're keeping it all in the same proportion, okay? So that was a question here about proportion. If I just rub this off, I'm just going to do one that's about ratio on here. Okay, now, this one here says, the mother bear is fed 4 fish for every 2 fish that her cub is fed. Okay, so here's the mother bear. I'm going to put M for mother and C for cub. All right, so the mother, for every 4 fish the mother gets, the cub gets 2. If I simplified that ratio, we would get 2 to 1, wouldn't we? Okay, I'm just going to jot that down in case that's useful. Now I want to know if the mother is fed 10 fish. All right, let's have a little look. How many would the cub get? Well, I could use this one actually. Again, this really reminds me of these equivalent fractions, isn't it? Look, this has been timesed by 5. So if I do the same to this, I'm going to keep it in the same ratio, right? Times that by 5. And actually, if I look here, 2 is half of 4, 1 is half of 2, 5 is half of 10. Okay, so that's how you could work out these questions. And there are some others on this sheet for you to have a little go at. Okay, so you've got a question to do with proportion, you've got some questions to do with ratio on these sheets. Okay, now if we look at the next sheet, I won't do the first question because really it's exactly the same, but you've just got, instead of it being half an hour, it's now 40 minutes for every kilogram. Okay, so you can apply the same method. Let's just have a little look at this question because it's slightly different. So I need to collect 80 stickers. Each bag of crisp contains 4 stickers. How many bags will I need to buy? So you could write out a list like this. So it was telling me that 1 bag contains 4 stickers. All right, this is my bag and this is my stickers. So if I had 2 bags, well then I'd have 8 stickers. And if I had 3 bags, I would have 12 stickers. Each time I'm getting 4 more stickers with every bag, aren't I? So 4 bags would be 16. These are all numbers from my 4 times table, aren't they? They're all multiples of 4. Let's have a look. Now I could just carry that list on. It would take quite a long time to get down to 80 stickers. I'm just going to see if I can do a big jump. Okay, if I wanted 80 down here, let's have a little look. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, so can you think something times 4 is 80? What number, when you times it by 4, is 80? Something times 4 is 80. Well, this is where an inverse can come in handy. If I divide that by 4, it will give me my answer here. Hopefully you might actually just be able to work out that the answer is 20. Now if you can't just see that, don't worry, you can carry the list on. 5 would be 20. Just, this is going up in 1s, isn't it? And this is going up in 4s. So you could just do that, doesn't matter at all. You could just keep doing that. Some of you will be able to see how you can have a shortcut to get to your answer. So that's the second hardest sheet. All right, there are some tricky questions on it, so don't worry if you're finding it difficult. This one is really challenging, okay, because we're going into decimals, we've got fractions. It really is quite complicated. The 2 at the end probably aren't too bad. I was just going to have a go at one of them with you, just because it did have some decimals here. So again, the beef has got to be cooked for 40 minutes for every kilogram. So 40 minutes is for 1 kilogram. I'm not going to bother to do the 2, and I'm not going to bother to do the 5.5 or the 5.5. But let's have a look at this one. 6.25. Okay, now I'm going to write that here. 6.25. Hopefully from your work on equivalents, fractions and decimals, I'll keep in mind that that's also 6 1/4. All right, might come in handy. So obviously the 6 kilograms would be 6 lots of 40. Okay, now 6 lots of 40, I'm going to do my calculating down here. 6 lots of 40, I'm going to use the quick method, 6 4s, 24, and I make it 10 times bigger. So I know if it was 6 kilograms, it would be 240 minutes. But I've also got another 1/4 of a kilogram. So if you find 1/4 of the 40 minutes, all right, this is a bit like the fractions of amounts. You can see how closely ratio, proportion, fractions, how closely they're all linked. 1/4 of 40. Well, that is another, if I write it like this. Some of you who came to my groups will remember that I said this time sign, you can also think of it as the word of. So 1/4 of 40 is 10. All right, so here is my 6 1/4 kilograms. All right, this will be the number of minutes. Add them together, 250 minutes. Okay. So that's how you could do that. You can do the same with the 8.75. Remember, that's 3/4. So there's quite a lot of calculating involved with these questions, particularly number 2. I think number 2 is particularly nasty. All right. But have a go and see how you get on. Good luck.